Welcome to G Tips Beauty Company channel, where we show you the ins and outs of our beauty company. Hi, I'm Aaliyyah A, and today I will be showing you how to create this super cute pop art nail design that is currently trending. Stay tuned for the magic. Now I'm going to be prepping my nails. You see, I'm pushing my cuticles back with my cuticle pusher, and I'm also going in with my ceramic cuticle bit, and I'm going to be removing that cuticle that's around my nail and up under the nail plate here. Next, I'll be applying the forms to my nails. I do prefer to sculpt my sets. I think it just makes it more for a nice crisper shape and longevity within my nail. I am going to go in with my acrylic and my monomer. As you see, I noticed my powder and my monomer being on the wrong side. This will cause spills and product drips and it's just the overall mess. It's best to work if you're right-handed on the right side with your acrylic and your monomer, and if you're left-handed, put your acrylic and your monomer on the left side so that you're not dripping product all over the place and just making an overall mess. So now I'm going to go in with my acrylic and my monomer, and I'm going to do a nice overlay over the set that I currently have. I've already removed any of the old and lifting acrylic, so when I place this new acrylic, it's going to adhere great. I did etch the surface, so it is going to stick great without any lifting, without looking wonky and bulging out. I am going to go in and maneuver the acrylic. As you see, it looks a little crazy when we're getting started, but this is where you really have to trust the process. You have to trust your skills. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to maneuver my acrylic. This is sculpting. This is what sculpting is and what sculpting is all about. You've got that product, and now it's up to you to create the shape, the design that you want to go in and create. As you see, I'm starting off with my sidewalls because when you're sculpting, when you're laying that acrylic, it's very, very important to go in and pat your sidewalls, because that's going to play a huge part in the end as far as your shaping and your fouling. So it is very, very important to go in and do those sidewalls first. Make sure that that nail is nice and slim. Make sure you're following the natural sidewall of the natural nail and just bringing it all the way down. You really don't want your nail to be wider than your client's sidewalls of their natural nail. Now, some people like duck nails, some people like square nails that are a little bit wider or that flare up at the top, but me personally, for this set, for this shape that I'm doing, I am going in with nice square nails that are going to be parallel to my sidewall. So as you see, I'm just blending that acrylic. I'm brushing it up, I'm brushing it down, I'm patting my sidewalls to ensure that there's no lumps, making sure that acrylic is smooth, and also making sure my shape is nice and crisp, making sure my sidewalls are nice in there, and I'm just smoothing out that acrylic so that when I go to file and buff my nail, it's really not that lumpy. You know, it's not much filing that we're gonna have to do towards the end, because we're taking our time and we're laying our acrylic. We're taking our time and we're making sure there's no harsh lines. We're looking at it from our side profile to see where our apex needs to go, and this is going to allow us to ensure that we don't have a flat nail. This is going to allow us to ensure that we have the proper strength that we need for our clients, so when they're maneuvering their everyday lives, they're not hitting their nails and causing them to break and pop off, nor are they causing their entire natural nail to be yanked off of their nail bed. Why? Because we looked at it from the side profile and recreated that adequate support needed to ensure that our nails were not flat and structured, strengthened properly. So as you see, that acrylic is nice, it's smooth. You can see the apex from the top. It just looks great. The shape is not too wide, so that way when we go in to do our fouling, we really won't have to do much work. And so I'm going to repeat this process over my other 4 nails here. If you need help laying your acrylic, stay tuned. If not, you can bypass this part, because right now I'm just going to go in and lay my acrylic over the remaining nails. Okay, so now I'm going to complete the remainder of my hand here. So I'm going to go ahead and get me a nice bead here. I do tap my brush to make sure the excess powder falls off back into the jar. I don't want to waste any of my product. So now I'm going in with a bead sideways. I do place my bead sideways. This allows me for better precision when putting that bead, and this allows me to not have to go in and tap my sidewalls numerous times to maneuver that acrylic to make sure it's in a nice place, make sure that the shape is nice and crisp. I do kind of go off camera just a little bit. I go out of the frame, but this is me maneuvering my acrylic. So realistically, you know, we're filming these YouTube videos. I'm trying to maneuver the camera and maneuver my hand at the same time, but it does get difficult. So occasionally, you will see me go out of frame, and that's okay. I'm just laying this acrylic. So a few tips that I have about laying the acrylic. One major tip is it's better to go in with too little acrylic than going in with too much acrylic. It's easier to maneuver a little bit of acrylic and go in, you know, with more acrylic versus going in with too much acrylic. And now it's lumpy, it's too much, it's too big, and you have to spend an incredibly large amount of time fouling. And now you're sitting there unconfident, and your customer is unconfident in your work as well. So it's best to go in with too little acrylic than going in with too much acrylic. So as you see, I'm going back in, I'm getting another bead. I'm gonna go, I'm putting this bead sideways. First bead I usually do for length. Now that first bead, I like to drag it all the way down to cover the length of my nail. And then that second bead, I go in and I fix all the lumps. I add the structure and I make sure it's nice and smooth. Here you see me patting those sidewalls. Pat those sidewalls, pat those sidewalls. Go back and forth between those sidewalls because this is going to help you in the end. This is going to help you with your shape. This is going to help you literally not have to spend years fouling off acrylic or making it nice and slim to the customer's nail. Also, when you overfoul the nail, the customer feels it in their nail beds and their nails become really sore. So going in and making sure those sidewalls are parallel to the customer's natural nail sidewalls is going to allow you to have that nice crisp shape so that you're not having to go in and continuously file the customer's nails. That will eventually cause them to be sore and hurting after the service. So as you see, I'm out of frame again, but that's okay because this is one of my first videos. Will get better and better. But as you see, I'm patting my acrylic. I'm making sure it's smooth so that way my nail is nice and smooth. And I'm also making sure it's uniform to the pinky nail because you don't want nails to be different all across the board. Unless that's your goal for the nail set, okay. But if you're trying to make your nails nice and uniform, you want to make sure that the nails look like each other. They don't have to be the same. They're not going to be twins, but they are going to be sisters of the same family. You do want them to look similar. So I am placing another bead here in kind of the center of my nail because when you look at it from the side profile, you want it to be like a slope. You want to imagine maybe like someone skiing or snowboarding down a hill, and you want to kind of create that slope. And at the top of the hill, that's where your apex is. Going down the hill is as it gets thin, as it kind of levels out, that's going towards your free edge. And you want to make your free edge nice and thin. Your nails, some people like thick nails, but your nails can really be about as thin as a credit card and still have the same correct structure that is needed to ensure that your nail is nice and strong. As you see, I'm just kind of pointing out how even from the top and from the side, you can see how there's the apex, the top of the heel, and then it slopes down towards the free edge. Here, I did speed up the video a lot because now I'm just going in and placing my acrylic and maneuvering it so that my nails come out nice. Now, if you're having problems laying your acrylic, the best thing for you to do is practice. Practice getting your liquid to powder ratio. Practice the 3-bead method, and I'll make a separate video for my people who need help laying that acrylic. The best advice I can give you literally is to practice. It's to just practice, because as you see, even I put the acrylic on the nail and it doesn't come out perfect when I first put the acrylic. This comes from, as you see, I'm working off of tissue. I don't have my paper towel, so a lot of acrylic's getting stuck in my brush. This brush is not the best brush. I haven't taken a trip to the nail supply store yet. I'm still rocking with my handy dandy original Kolinsky brush. So there'll be a lot of different factors that may come into play, which may cause your acrylic to not be that perfect bead. But you, as the tech, you need to be able to know how to maneuver your product regardless of the circumstances. If it's too hot, the acrylic will set extremely fast. If it's too cold, your acrylic will set extremely slow. So you need to be able to maneuver your product. You need to be able to know what to do and how to do it. And the best way to get good with laying your acrylic, the best way to get good with that application is to practice. Because look at that nail. Did you see how wonky that acrylic was when we put that acrylic on the first time on that index finger? And now look at how smooth it is. Because regardless of the circumstances, I know how to maneuver my product. Regardless of what I'm working with, the quality of the product, the quality of the brush, regardless of any outside factors, I'm still able to lay my acrylic and have it looking nice for the customer. So the best way to be able to lay that acrylic and to really understand your product is to practice with it. Practice with your product, practice with your brush, so that you can get good at laying your acrylic and making that perfect bead. So I have completed my hand. The acrylic application looks great. Now I'm going to go in and I'm just going to clean up my work area. I'm going to remove I'm gonna go ahead and dump out any leftover monomer that I have left over from doing my set, because we don't reuse monomer on clients. We're not going to think scarcity. We're not going to think, oh, I still got a lot of monomer left, I can use that on another client. No, go ahead and throw that out, because we're not going to be harboring bacteria. We're not going to be causing our clients to get infections and diseases. So we're going to go ahead and dump out the rest of that acrylic. You see my cool little thumbs up there. Now our nails are done. We're going to remove the forms here. We'll be able to see the complete nails. We'll be able to see where we need to file off excess product to get our nice crisp shape. But as you can see, it's not much that we'll have to go back in and do for our filing, because we've mastered acrylic application and we've mastered maneuvering our product. We know our product, we know our brush, and we know that bringing those sidewalls in, smoothing that acrylic out, and all those cool tips allowed us for a decent application, so that we won't have to do a lot of fouling when the next steps come. Next, I'm going to go in with my file. First, I'm filing my free edge. I like to file it up and down. You can file it horizontal, left and right, to get that straight across shape. And I'm also going to go up under my nail, and I'm going to file up underneath where you can see where that product dripped down. So we're going to make sure we file up under the nail. We're going to clean it up. I'm going to come under my side walls, and I'm going to work on these nails. I'm about to get this shape nice and crisp, and it's so fun because when you're doing forms, you really don't have to worry about filing that thin layer of plastic. It's straight acrylic, so it files so much easier. This is a 180 grit file. I'm not even going in with the 80 grit file because it will cause your nail beds to be sore when you don't have to file that rough. You really don't. When you're working with your acrylic and when you can get it nice and smooth and when you know how to maneuver it, you really don't have to go in with the lower grit files because your shape is already there. You know, you don't want to over file. You don't want to cause your nails to be sore. So we going in, we filing that nail, we turning our hands all types of ways, left side, up side, right side, honey. We turning our hands all kind of ways to make sure we get this file. I go out of frame just a little bit, but what I'm doing is I'm filing my nail. And I'll drop a shaping video a little later down the line, and we'll do that on a live client so you can really see the ways and directions that I hold the file. You want to hold the file at an angle so that you're getting that nice straight side. And so we'll do another in-depth video on shaping. So as you see, I'm going in. I prefer to use my hand file for shaping my sidewalls and my free edge. You're free to use your e-file for this, but I prefer to use my hand file because it gives me a nice, more crispy shape. And as you can see the difference between the fingers that are filed and the fingers that are not filed. So we've completely finished filing the sidewalls and the free edge. I filed it enough to my liking. You make sure you file to your client's liking, but for me personally, this is good enough for me and for this video for what we're trying to do. The application looks great. It's not lumpy. When we go in to apply our gel polish, we don't have any dips and dents in the acrylic. Now I'm going to go in and seal my cuticle. I've got my 5-in-1 Pana e-file bit. This is a carbide bit that you don't want to use on your natural nail. You only want to use on enhancements. Now, if you're not feeling confident with your carbide bit, go in with your ceramic safety bit. This is going to allow for more, let's see the word I'm looking for. This is going to allow you to really get in that cuticle without cutting your client, without it overheating, because it's a safety bit. It's a ceramic safety bit. Ceramic bits you can use on your natural nails. They are also strong enough to use on the enhancement. Your carbide bits you only want to use on your enhancement, but your safety bits you can definitely use on the natural nail. You can also use on your enhancements. So if you're not feeling confident with your carbide bit, go in with your safety bit until you get confident. When you're ready to really start chopping down that acrylic, really start sealing those cuticles, when you're ready to start focusing on your time, that's when you can move into your carbide bits. So what I do is I pull the skin back, because when you lay your acrylic, it's going to push up around that cuticle. It's going to push up around that eponychium, and you need to push it back some. So I like to pull the skin, and when you pull that skin back, you can actually see where the acrylic stops and when your natural nail starts, and you can see that little space in between where you'll need to go in and place the e-file bit in order to seal your cuticle. You want to be very, very careful when filing right here. You don't want to file on a speed too high, because your cuticle area, when you lay that acrylic, it should be thin. Your cuticle area, it should look similar to your natural cuticle. So what that means is that acrylic there is extremely thin, so you don't want to go in on a super high speed. This will cause extreme burning. This will cause pain to your client, and this will literally cause the acrylic to break off, and you'll even have to go in and potentially lay another bead on your cuticle area because you've overfiled. Another way tip that you'll see in this video is I'm taking my cuticle pusher and I'm pushing the skin back. This is going to allow me to create that space between where my enhancement starts and where my skin because that's your skin. Remember, anything white is dead skin, is cuticle. But right here, we've already moved the dead skin, baby. That's live skin. So if you don't push that skin back and you go in with that file bit and you going in and you filing, you're potentially going to cut your client. So you make sure you push that skin back to seal your cuticles. That's going to be it right there. If you don't push that skin back, you're not going to be able to completely seal your cuticles. Moisture is going to get in there and it's going to cause lifting. So be sure, major key, save that, replay that, write that down. Push that skin back after you lay that acrylic so that you can go in and seal those cuticles, because if you do not, this will allow moisture and oils to get in under the nail, which will eventually cause lifting. And everyone knows lifting equals unhappy client. So like I said here, I'm just sealing my cuticles with my carbide bit, and I'm also gonna go in and file the surface of my nail as well to make sure it is nice and flat. I am about to go in with my gel polish, so I don't want any dips, dents, or holes in the nail, because it's not gonna show much in your application, but when you go in with that gel polish, you'll see all of that. Your gel polish is going to tell on you. Your gel polish is going to point out every imperfection, so you want to make sure you're filing the surface nice and smooth. And we're gonna go in with our buffer as well. And so now I'm going in with my buffer. I had to slow this part down because I was going so fast and it would have been like 10 seconds. But here's me buffing the surface of my nail so it'll be nice and smooth for my gel polish application. Now I'm about to start the fun painting. So I'm going in with my detailed art brush. This is going to allow me to draw the outline for the French tip design that I'm going to do. I'm going to do this super cute pop art French tip design that I saw on Instagram. I thought it would be super cute to recreate the design. So as you see, I'm just outlining my French tip here with my pink, and I'm going to do it on all of my nails. And then once I'm done outlining, I'm just going to take my nail polish brush that's already in the bottle with the paint on it, and I'm going to finish painting the free edge, so that way you're not, I mean, some people paint the free edge with their detailed brush, but I just find it a little easier to do the outline first and then go in with my regular nail polish brush and complete the painting of the free edge. Now that I've got my French tip to my desired tip of Frenchiness, I'm going to go in with some black gel polish, and I'm going to start to outline the perimeter of the nail, the perimeter of the French tip. This is going to create that kind of outline effect that you see in comic books, because we're doing that comic nail design, the pop art. So this outline is going to be similar to the same black outline or the same borderline that you see on comic book paper. And so I went over it a few times just to make sure I got the desired thickness of the border that I wanted for my pop art design. And then once I got it to look how I wanted it to look with the black gel polish, I'm going to complete this same design on the remaining 4 fingers. And like I said, you want the design to be uniform. So go back and look at that other finger and make the next finger similar. It's not going to be the same because they're not twins, but like I said, they're sisters of the same family, so they should look alike. Next, I'm going to go in with my gel polish and my detailed brush, and I'm going to make a super thin line along the side of my French tip. As you can see, I'm going in here, and then I'm also going to make a super thin line down at the bottom. This is going to create more of an effect as if I was drawing on a piece of paper. You know, it's going to make it that 2D versus looking at it from a point of view without the lines. Because if you see, my ring finger doesn't have the lines, but as you see, the French tip design, it's not giving that comic cartoon effect as if we add the 2 lines like we've added on our ring finger and our not our ring finger, our index finger and our middle finger. So I'm gonna go in and add these lines, and I'm gonna make these lines dark the same way that the border is, because this is gonna add that detail and emphasis on the line. So I've got the lines added to all of my fingers, and as you see, it's starting to create that 2D comic cartoon effect that we're going for in the end. That looks super, super cute. Now I'm going to take my pink gel polish and I'm going to draw a thin line right in front of the vertical black line that's already there. This creates a shadow effect. It creates a super cool effect with the light pink and then the dark pink right there. It creates like a shadow effect as if you were really looking at it on a piece of paper. And here I'm just going in and cleaning up those lines because some lines came out too thick, so I wanted to clean them up to make sure they were nice and slim. It's totally up to you on how you want your shadow effect to look, but for me, I wanted to kind of thin the line out. Now I'm going to go in with my white gel polish here, and this is going to create like a light beam as if the light was shining down on my nails, or as if we were looking at it on a 2D cartoon comic book. Damn, Peasy, that's fly. Now I'm just going in with my dotting tool to create that super cool light effect, and it's kind of like an exclamation point, but it looks like a light beam. And here is the finished product before we put our top coat on. So now I'm going to go in with my top coat. I do have the top coat on my index finger, so that's how it's going to look as if it was shiny. Now this is a matte top coat that I'm going in with because I do like the matte look on this design versus the shiny top coat. But nevertheless, the shiny top coat looks just as amazing, because look at those 3 nails that have that shine to it, because the matte coat hasn't dried yet, so it's still that shiny liquid. And it looks so great. Just look at those 3 nails that already have that nice shiny top coat. That looks great. Now here are all the nails as if the top coat was shiny. I'm going to put it in my UV light in just a second, which is going to turn them matte. But this is the design as if they were shiny, and the design is really cute in a shiny top coat as well. So it's totally up to you all as the artist on what you would prefer. The shiny looks super cute. This is them with the matte that has dried. I'm going in with my cuticle oil. I love it, live by it, swear by it, love the cuticle oil. Get you some cuticle oil. Put your cuticle oil on your cuticles 2 times a day. Yes, I'm going to gently massage that in because I like a little hand massage after my full set. And look at that. That looks super cute. So here is my version of the French pop art comic book design. I hope you all enjoyed this cute little tutorial as much as I enjoyed making it for you all. Please like and subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for more videos to come. Bye.